Hello everybody, this is Mooniestar, and today I'm going to play a little game called Star Realms. And Star Realms, to put simply, is a deck builder. It's not like Magic or Yu-Gi-Oh! Or any of those other card games. In fact, I plain don't like those types of card games, but this one I've been playing, well over a year. It came out in 2013, and by White Wizard. It's just so fun. It's really easy to pick up, but this is the digital version, and so we're going to play. I've already played through most of the campaign, and so basically I just play online a bunch. My handle is Mikachu, 2 U's, you can see it on here. Unfortunately, I am at a pretty low level. I keep getting a lot of games where I just plain lose, and that's okay. I think the highest level I've been at is like level 9 with 8 wins, and so I was really close to being level 10. There are some people on here that are like way above my league, and the cool thing about this is that you don't necessarily get matched up with those people, so you play within your level most of the time. I have been matched with people who rank like level 14, level 18, and I think it just depends on the time of day. But either way, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to back out of here, and I'm going to go to AI. You can play AI. So easy, medium, hard, and it's the stereotypical kind of, whatever you feel comfortable playing. I've tried to play nothing but hard stuff. Even in the campaigns, I try to do hard mode as fast as I can. Games are usually over within 25 to 30 turns in my experience. It just depends on the trade row and those random number gods, So, and I also play with Gambits. This is the expansion pack. It's this whole game was $5, and then it was another $5 for the expansions and Gambits. But anyway, let's just jump in. Start. And we're off, apparently. And so, basically what's happening, unfortunately I can't put this at full screen mode or it ends up jumping to my second monitor. But you see that every opponent has 5 cards. The first player to go has 3, and that can be at either an advantage or a disadvantage. I've seen people claim that if you go first, your chances of winning just shoot up, especially with whatever's right here in the center, this trade row here that you're going to buy from. So I have 4 coins and 1 damage, which has a fancy, and you can right click on them and see what they are. Like, some of them have some really cool artwork, so I can enjoy that. These are your Gambits. I have Bold Raid. This one's not bad. I usually try to hang on to this. More often than not, I try to do it to draw a card, even if my opponent doesn't have a target base. And then this one, I only use this whenever there are, in the trade row, a card that's worth 4. Now, this is actually perfect because Freighter, right here, this card holds the most coinage, basically. And that's the one you want to go for. I usually spend this Gambit, again right here, Smuggling Run. I usually spend this Gambit on Freighter, or Stealth Needle is a copy card. That one's really cool. Sometimes Recycling Station, if I don't have a base and it's there, but number 1. So I'm going to go ahead and spend this, because here's the thing. Early game, you have to have trade. You have to have money. And so this is acquire a card of 4 or less. You don't ever want to spend it on a 1 or a 2. Even though Cutter is really good, but fortunately, this is separate from my main hand. And so I'm going to select Freighter, and it goes right into my discard. And now I have to play, or I get to play, my full hand right here. Blob Destroyer is a very good card. Before I go on, I'm sorry. There are 4 different factions. You have, your yellow, which is your Starbase Empire, blue, Trade Federation, red, Machine Cult, and your green, your blobs. Each one of them has a advantage and disadvantage. The game's pretty darn balanced out. I favor blue. This is probably, I've been playing this game for a really long time. I don't even know if I can show you. Well, I'll try to remember to do that. But I try to favor blue. And this card in particular, the Cutter, is really, you don't ever want to pass that up. So, since this is early game, I'm going to go ahead and get this one. And so you can see this trade row is getting pretty expensive already, and I've already bought out all the money that I can. And so if I can, my next turn, if I click on it here, I have, again, the same hand. As every hand starts off with 8 Scouts, 2 Vipers. So I will probably get the Blob Destroyer next go around unless something better comes up in the hand, but we'll see. And I'll go ahead and get an Explorer, and then I have 1 attack, and we'll go ahead and get that, and I hit them. Now, I should say that this is the digital version. This is the difference between playing this and the physical copy is that you can, well, obviously, can see that the gambits that they have. Unlikely Alliance, draw 2 cards, easy. This one's not one of my favorites. I hardly ever utilize this one until late game, a really late game. Put target card from your discard pile on top of the deck. No big deal. But there's so many cards where you can have cards on top of your deck. It's almost kind of useless to me. I don't know. That's my but the difference of this being the digital version is that you can right-click, or you can click on, and you can look at your opponent's hand. You can do that on the online matches as well. So that's what we have there. Anyway, I've done all I can do. I have no more trade. I have no more attack. So I'm going to end my turn. And there we go. And now, because this is AI, they go immediately. All right, 6 trade. He bought. Let me click on these. He bought Battlecruiser, part of the Star Empire. 5 damage, automatically draw a card, and then if you pair it, this is the cool thing, is that a lot of the cards have ally abilities, and if you pair it with another yellow or something else that says, ally ability, there's an outpost machine faction that does that. Hopefully that'll pop up and you can see that. And then down here, you have this little garbage can, and it's your scrap. You can scrap the card from your deck permanently, and you can use that to destroy a base, and also draw a card. Obviously, that's an end game move. You don't want to do that right away, but so let's go ahead and play all. Alright, so Battle Barge. I honestly don't really get Battle Barge until maybe mid-game, because, again, Battle Barge is part of the expansion pack, so I'm not quite keen on it, per se. You usually want to have one of those if you have a base-heavy deck, but what I'm going to do is get a Blob Destroyer. And then I have 1 attack to spend, down to 48, and our scores are about even. And it's going to be like that. We kind of pick away at each other until we get scrap abilities and such. Alright, so you can see that I've got hit for 6 authority. Alright, so usually what I've noticed is that you want to play your cards like this first, and then save your baby cards for last, basically. And so now what I have is I have 4 money. This costs 3, this costs 2. I can only get, if I decide to get Battle Station, which Battle Station, honestly, Battle Station should not be underutilized. It's pretty darn good. It's a decent defense. You can also scrap it for an extra 5 damage automatically. And what I like about it is that it costs 3, but it defends for 5. A lot of these cards will cost 3 or defend for 4, or cost 4 and defend for 4. This is it's pretty good for what you spend on it. So I'm going to go ahead and get Battle Station, and then hit the AI. And again, we are back at the same score. I am hanging on to my Bold Raid. He has no bases in play, or it. It's a giant brain world. It's the AI. So I'll go ahead and end my turn. Okay, I drew Cutter. Good, good. Alright. Cutter is pretty amazing. It's only 2 trade. That's it. And then you draw it, you play it, you automatically get 4 authority, 4 health added on to what you have. 2 trade. If you have another blue, whether that's an outpost or another card, automatically 4 damage. It doesn't have any scrap abilities, but God, I would not want to get rid of this card. There's 3 of them in the whole deck. I have had decks where I just draw all 3 cutters, and it's amazing. But anyway, so we'll go ahead and play that, and then what I'm going to have is, I'm going to have 5 trade. Now, depending, and this is what I try to do, is I try to keep track of what colors, and it seems like I've got 1 red, 1 blue, 1 green, 1 blue. I do, like I said before, I favor blue. I'm going to have a lot of trade coming up. Excuse me. I have a lot of trade coming up. Let's see. However, I only have 1 outpost, 1 base. So I think what I'm going to do is go ahead and get this trade escort, plus 4 health, plus 4, and then the draw ability for the ally. So I'll go ahead and get that and attack. And we are back up. Okay, next turn. Alright, I had mentioned before that there are 4 factions in this game. The red, blue, yellow, and green. The yellow will focus on, if I can pull it up here, yeah, target opponent discards. That's the big gimmick with yellow, is that it makes your opponent discard cards. I have had games where I'm forced to discard nearly all or all of my hand, and it can be pretty devastating. So it's, especially if you have an opponent who's playing green, which is very damage heavy, like this one alone is 7 damage. Which, by the way, I'm probably going to get this one. But anyway, I have to choose a card to discard. Now, because the blob carrier is only 6, I'll have 7 trade once I play, and so I'm going to go ahead and get rid of one of my scouts. And then up here, okay, I had 8 trade. Apparently I can't math today, that's fine. By the way, these explorers, in the digital version, they're infinite, basically just if you need money. And I don't need this explorer because I have freighter, and so I'm going to go ahead and scrap that for a little extra damage. I will purchase blob carrier. Okay, I am getting a little behind. I think that's alright. Good, good. Okay, wonderful. I'm going to go ahead and put this outpost in play. Trade escort, automatically for authority. Alright. 3, 4, and 5. Okay, so I think at this point, yeah, we're a little bit past. I don't think it would hurt me to get Star Market, and Star Market is a pretty decent base because if you play this base this turn, including this one, gave 5 or 3. This is only for the turn that you played it. It's not like other bases like this one, where if it's in play, every turn you get 3 damage, or every turn you get an ally ability. This is part of the expansion pack. So I think what I'm going to do, yeah, I don't. I'm going to get the Hive against my better judgment, simply because even though World, it's quite expensive. You have 5, but it only protects you for 4, and that's only if you have an ally ability. For the 7 damage total, I don't have any more Star Empire right now, and so I'm going to go for the Hive. If that bites me later, so be it. This is just the AI after all. Alright, and still no base play from the AI, so I'm going to go ahead and damage. Okay, end my turn. Well, there's that battle cruiser again. Alright. Now, I should mention you'll see a difference between a base like this, where you have this, the shield is blacked out, and that makes it an outpost, where if an opponent has the outpost in play, you must attack that one first. They could have 10 of them in line, but you have to attack those first, whereas opposed to the silver or white looking shield here, you can just skip right over that and attack the life directly. So unfortunately, not a terribly great hand here, I should say. I only have 3 trade. I'll go ahead and get another outpost here and then attack. So here we go. And honestly, with the digital version, you're gonna have quite a bit of speed up. Ooh, hit me hard. Okay. I have plenty of damage. I want that cutter, and so I have exactly 2 trade. I'm gonna go ahead and get that. If you can help it, I don't care if it's mid-game, late game. If the cutter shows up, I'm gonna get it, you know, like, unless it's really one of those, okay, you have, you know, 1 turn to win, and it's between this and getting, destroying your opponent, then so be it. So, as you can see, they have Breeding Site in place, which is part of the Blob faction. This one was part of the expansion set, and which it's not. I mean, you have buy it for 4 trade, and then it takes 7 damage to get it out of play. So I have 11 to play with. I could, let's see what they have. Alright, so it's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I think it would be in my best interest to attack it. That leaves it down to 19. So, which I love when your opponent has this 0 here and you can see exactly what they're going to do. Whereas if they have 7 or 8 in this pile, it doesn't show you their exact hand. It's all randomized. Such as with this deck, I'm not going to pull these first 5 cards in my hand. That's not going to happen. That'd be a pretty nice hand right there. I don't have to worry, But generally, until you get some scraps. In fact, it doesn't look like either one of us have been drawing reds. Yeah, no reds. I have 1, but there's no scrap ability on it. Fortress Oblivion. This is another one that was part of the expansion. You may scrap a card in your hand or discard pile. I always try to scrap from discard. It's just how you do. I'm going to see if I can purchase that one on my next turn. I should have, especially if I get Freighter again, I should have a good chance. But anyway, damage is done, end turn. Okay, oh wow, I did get a pretty full hand there. Okay, again, at the same, there we go. Okay, next ship to top. This is an ally ability, so that's pretty good. I like that. Unfortunately, there's only Battle Screecher. I'm not terribly a fan of Battle Screecher. It does pretty nice for what it is. but either way, because I don't favor green anyway. So what I'm going to do, but I am collecting green. I do have that. So I'm going to gain a health, play that other one, and I will go ahead, actually, the thing about this is that it doesn't hurt to have more defense, because the AI is going to have to chew through my battle station and trading post here, so it would have to be 9 damage. But we'll see how that turns out. I'm going to go ahead and get War World. And my turn. Oof. Here we go. And because it's AI, they're going all out, scrapping everything. Okay. Discard 2 cards. So I don't have enough to buy anything off the trade row anyway, except for the Fortress Oblivion. However, since I have to discard 2 cards, that's going to put me down to 1 trade anyway. I'm going to go ahead and make it this. Okay. I do have Cutter coming up. I am pretty low. However, the odds of me drawing that Cutter are not, well, I'm not feeling it. I may not win this game, and that's fine. Usually with the hard AI, they like to save everything until the very last minute, and then they shoot you with everything that they possibly can. They scrap, they draw, they make you just everything they can. So I'm going to just go ahead and get rid of that. Okay, and we'll see if we survive the next one, which is a barely. It's a barely for sure. Okay, so go ahead and discard the scout there. Alright. So unfortunately I did not draw any of my bases here. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and get Fortress Oblivion. Oh, and a Fed Shuttle. Because it's so late game, I'm not going to be able to draw it anyway. In fact, there really wasn't any point of me doing any of that. I'm going to go ahead and spend my Gambit to destroy the target base, and it will allow me to draw a card. It will probably be a Scout. That's okay. Yep. It's so predictable. But yeah, I only have 7 damage. The win is going to go to the AI, and that's fine. But it's a close game. It's not bad. I probably could have done a little better the midway, but that's the thing when you're drawing supposedly randomly. I've heard rumors that the way this AI works is that it favors blue. It shows up, and as you can see, you know, every one of these loof. But then again, this is the end game here. But got to go ahead and end that and accept my defeat. Here we go. And I have unspent trade. It will warn you, like, are you sure you want to do this terrible decision? Well, yes, I've lost. It's okay. So, and here we go. We're going to watch our death unfold before us. And we have been horribly mangled and defeated, and that's okay. That's playing against the hard AI. So, let's see how our online goes. Unfortunately, not a lot of players doing their turns. Lost this one, but that's alright. So, let's see where I stand here. Okay. Looks like I'm favoring blue a lot, which that's alright. So, a lot of trade, lots of... So, of course. Now, this is one of my favorite cards. It's kind of a baby Brain World, we'll call it. Brain World costs 8, while this one costs 7. And Brain World allows you to scrap 2, draw 2. It can be pretty broken if you get it early. While Machine Base allows you to draw a card and then scrap the card from your hand. You want to make sure to play that one first, obviously, because you don't want to end up drawing something that's amazing and then oops, you have to scrap it. I've made that mistake before, but anyway, I will probably definitely get that one. Freighter and Cutter, one of my favorite combinations. Embassy Yacht, there are 2 of these in the whole deck. If you have 2 or more bases in play, draw 2 cards. I always try to get Embassy Yacht if there's not a Cutter or a Freighter instead. I think this is the only card I will ever spend the draw 4 or less gambit on, because, like I said, there's only 2 of them in the whole deck, and it works with any base, not just blue. But anyway, let's go ahead and play that one. I don't have any bases in play. I have 10 trade. Amazing. So, and amazingly, I only have, this is Recycling Station. You can either get 1 trade per turn it's in play, or discard up to 2 cards and then draw that many cards. So I'm going to go ahead and get Machine Base, and probably Trading Post as well would not hurt. Attack Mr. Murphy for 4, and end my turn. And now, because that's an online game, I have to wait for him to take his turn, whenever that may be. Could be in 5 minutes, could be tomorrow. Alright, so next game, and nobody has taken their turn yet. Playing online is such, oh my gosh, it's so fun. Like, I've played this game for well over a year, and it seems like it never gets old. They recently added leaderboards several months ago, I think, and you can sort them by weekly, monthly, or lifetime. I'm not on any of them this time around, because I've had so many losses. But you can see how many games I've played. 4,378 total, and just over 2,000 wins. So I've got, this has always been my average. I think I remember first starting out, I had maybe a 37% win. It was not good. That's okay though. But yeah, this is just one of those kind of fun games where you play a bunch of them at the same time. It's like bingo, you know. The loss and wins, where it will say you won, you lost, those events. Oh, Mr. Murphy has taken his turn. They will eventually go away, I think, after 48 hours. So you can always trade back in. Alright, he has done some damage on me. This is your score, my score, and this is the opponent's score. So let's see what he did. Alright. Oh, goodness. Very good, sir. Alright. None of these came up in the AI game. Missilebot, one of the Machine Cult cards. There's either 2 or 3 of them in the game. I think there's 2. There's also TradeBot and SupplyBot, also in the Machine Cult. These are all scrap cards. That's red. The red faction specialty is scrapping. And of course they have ally abilities, which may not seem like too much of a threat, but when you only have 50 authority or 50 health, it can add up. And he just played 2 of them in a row, so I got hit with 8 damage, as well as his battle cruiser and all that. Don't have such a great hand here, and it's not terribly good coming up. Okay. The famous Angry Tetris. Come back for another beating, eh? That's alright, I know that guy in real life, so. Alright, let's see what we've got here. Oh. Alright, plenty of blue. Plenty of blue. Gonna scrap. Alright, so it looks like... Alright, before I make my move real quick, this one is a special card. You'll notice that it's gray. It's not either of the colors. You get to choose a faction when you play this card, and then it automatically has that faction. So if I have the Hive, which is the Blob faction, I can use Merc Cruiser, choose the green color, and I will draw a card. Pretty cool. I do like that one, but man, I do like the frigates too. The frigates, you can see they have all 3 abilities right here. You have the damage plus your opponent discarding, ally ability of 2 damage, plus a scrap of drawing a card. That can be pretty valuable. So I'm going to get the frigate. I feel like people, because this is like the expansion pack, they're, even at this stage, it's been several months, but even at this stage, they seem like a little shifty to get them. Again, like, see, he's level 6. Now, that's not, you can never know how long someone's been playing a game. It doesn't tell you that. And so, looking at someone's level doesn't tell you anything. Like, I've been playing this game for well over a year, and I've had up to about 35 games going at once. It can get pretty fun, but go ahead and attack Mr. Murphy here. And end my turn. Alright. Now, one of the fun things that you can do is you can challenge people if you know their usernames. So you just type it in here, and then you click challenge. You can also choose if you want to have these in play or not, and you can choose one or the other. So, but yeah, I will accept his challenge. There you go. And it's my turn first. Now, because it's my turn first, I will get 3 cards, and it's going to be a combination of either 3 scouts, 2 scouts and a viper, or 1 scout and 2 vipers. The 1 scout and 2 vipers hardly ever happens, like just the odds of it happening, so I'll probably have 2 scouts. I have 3 scouts. Oh, I like this. Okay. Now, when I first started out, I thought having the more cards in play, we'll go ahead and get these out here. I don't really use the play all button nowadays, but because it can work against you if you click it at the wrong time. Now, when I first started playing this game, I thought, man, the more cards I have on my deck, the more dangerous it is. And so normally I would get, cost 1 Imperial Fighter, cost 1 Trade Bot. This time not so much. It's all about investing, and especially early game can be crucial. So I'm going to get supply bot, and then a missile bot takes its place. They're almost the same card. They just a couple of differences here and there. The 2 gambits I have, again, Bold Raid, one of my favorites. Frontier Fleet. Each turn you gain 1 damage. So it's like, no matter, even if I have a handful of money, I'm still going to be able to do 1 damage. And then he has Political Maneuver, which is scrap for 2 money. And then my least favorite, which is the Salvage Operation. So go ahead and attack him for 1, and end my turn. And there's my 2 Vipers at the bottom here, the 2 reds. So, yeah, it's overall a really fun game. And I think I'm going to go ahead and leave off there. We got through quite a bit of it. I'm not so much of a great, I don't think I made this video to kind of teach you guys how to play per se, but it's more of just like a window of, through someone who has been playing it a while. And if you're confused, that's okay, because I was confused. I'm like, I don't even like card games. I don't get this, but it's pretty harmless. I had a lot of fun doing that, and he's already wanting to to play again. So, but yeah, this does have a nice tutorial, and you can also play it, like I play it on my phone a lot, and my phone has a pretty large screen, and so you can kind of pass and play with people. You can also pass and play on here, and kind of like that, and it's actually kind of fun to do that solo as well, because what you can do is, well, I'm only going to choose to play with blue and red, and then you have the other opponent play green and yellow, and see how that kind of plays out. But anyway, let's get out of that. But yeah, it's such a great game, guys. I would definitely recommend it. You guys need to check it out. They have a podcast already. I say already, but it's been going on for several months. Really informative, real fun, laid back. Um, so yeah, you guys check it out, and thanks for watching. Mooniestar out.